I have been pregnant 3 times. I never got in the epidural, and I got induced twice with both of my girls. So this time around, I decided I didn't want to get induced. I wanted to let my body do it naturally. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. We are actually on our way to Starbucks. Marcus called me this morning and told me, go get some time for yourself and go get some Starbucks. So that's exactly what we're doing. And I literally thought this was the perfect opportunity to just talk to you guys about my birth story. Let's get some coffee, and then once we get settled in, I will start telling you guys a little bit of my birth story. Okay guys, so yeah, let's just get into it. I got my Starbucks. I got a venti just because it literally lasts me all day. I don't like to drink it super fast. I need like a different drink, but this one's just still so good. I mixed just the whipped cream and then I just added the flat lid, and it lasts me pretty much all day. So that's why I just like to get the venti, just to kind of look forward to throughout the day. I love it. It's so good. Okay, so what happened? I gave birth in November 29, 2023. I gave birth exactly at 7:34 a.m. It was super crazy. Every time I look at that time, I'm like, oh damn, I gave birth around this time. But yeah guys, I gave birth in November 29th. I was 40 weeks and 1 day when I gave birth, and he was 7 pounds 11 ounces. So on November 28th, I decided to just go to Starbucks and get this passion tea that they have to kind of like help you induce labor. I just woke up that morning and I told myself, I'm gonna just go get it. I was already 40 weeks, and I told myself, I'm just gonna go get it. What's the worst that can happen? I don't even know for sure if it even works, right? I went to Starbucks. I drank the tea. I felt fine like pretty much all day. So then like that night, I remember we opened up this big gingerbread house, and I even helped Marcus kind of like put it together for the girls so they can color. I was feeling fine. But then the next day, I was already 40 weeks and a day, and that morning, it was 4:30 in the morning. I woke up, guys, and I literally went to the bathroom and I checked my pants because it kind of felt like a little bit wet. So I was kind of like, what is happening right now? I'm not feeling anything. So why are my pants wet, you know? So I grabbed a different pair of pants and like underwear, and I changed, went back to bed, and I kind of went back to sleep for a little bit. Like around 5, that's when I noticed that I started feeling, you know, contractions. But not even contractions. It was more like period cramps. I don't know if you guys know what that feels like, but if you're a girl, obviously you know what that feels like. But that's what they were feeling like, period cramps. And before, with my girls, I got induced twice. And I remember I had told myself, if I ever get pregnant again, I want to naturally let my body do this on its own. So this time around, I was like, I'm not getting induced. I'm gonna let my body do this on its own. I just want to have that experience for myself, because I had seen somewhere that getting induced is not good for you. And the first time that I got induced was very valid because I had gallstones. So I remember I was like at 3 centimeters back then, and I was just in so much pain from the gallstones. And I remember my doctor, she was like, just go to the hospital and we're gonna just induce you. So that one was valid, like why I got induced. It was an emergency reason. But the second time around with Zaylee, I didn't have a reason to get induced. She pretty much was, my doctor was pretty much was like, let's just induce you. And I since I was already familiar with being induced with my first, I was kind of like, okay, yeah, let's just freaking get out of the way, you know. But I remember after I had Zaylee, I had seen this video of this girl talk about being induced and how it's not good for you and it's not good for your baby, and like there could be like health problems. That honestly scared me because I had no idea. I was never educated about this. Like my doctor just kind of like was like, hey, let's just get you induced, you know. And so that's why this time around I was like, I want to do this on my own. I want my body to do it on its own. This is what our bodies are meant to do. And so let it be like that. So that's what I'm saying. So that morning when my pants were wet and I changed, I went back to sleep, I started feeling cramps. And I was kind of like, okay, but I'm not having those contractions. They're not 5 minutes apart. So kind of like, I was kind of confused because again, I was comparing this to the times I was induced. I've been used to going to labor and like just having these crazy contractions, especially when they induce you and they put the Pitocin in. You get these, like, you have this experience with these contractions, like they just kind of start getting more intense every time. And so this time around, since I wasn't experiencing that, it was just more like kind of like period cramps. I was kind of like, what is happening? Like, I don't understand. I can't really tell the difference. And I didn't want to make the wrong decision because my mom and my sister they don't live in town. So I couldn't really count on them. But Marcus's mom lives here, but she lives 40 minutes out, but she works and all this. So I didn't want to make the wrong decision and like inconvenience anybody. So I was just kind of like, wait till like last minute to call her, but like at 5, that's when I was like, okay. I woke up Marcus and I was like, hey, like, I'm not feeling well. Like, I'm starting to get these contractions / cramps. Like, I'm not sure if I'm going into labor anytime soon. And I remember he jumps up the bed and he's like, let's just get to the hospital, because what if something happens and like we don't get there in time? Like, you're starting to feel them anyways, even if they're not 5 minutes apart. At this time I was already 40 weeks in a day. So he's like, let's just go and get you settled in. And I was like, okay, yeah, let's just do that. And guys, I honestly thought that I was like prepared. I thought I had my bags ready, the stuff for my girls ready, and I really was not prepared whatsoever. I remember I just got up and I was just standing there looking around, super confused. All of a sudden, while Marcus was getting the girls ready, I just feel again like water just running down my legs, and I was like, oh my god, okay, I think this is serious now. I turned on the shower because I was like, I need to shower. My body needs to be clean when I get to the hospital. So I get in the shower, clean myself, I get out, I change, and then it was a Thursday that all of this is happening. So Kesley was still gonna go to school, so I told myself, I was like, I just need to like get her ready. Like, I need to do her hair and make sure she's ready for school, so Marcus can just go and like drop her off. So I remember I was doing her hair and I kind of started getting these contractions. They were kind of like picking up a little bit, but they were still like not crazy, because I was still able to like kind of move around and just kind of process what was happening. So yeah, I get Kesley ready, Marcus gets Zaylee ready, and then we just kind of grab everything that we remembered. And Marcus like drops me off at the emergency room. So he dropped me off at the hospital and to the emergency room around like 6:15ish, around there. And then so I walked into the emergency room by myself while he gets the girls out. And then that's when I check in. I see him walking with the girls. He was so cute because he was just like trying to be super supportive and just be there with the girls. But they all 3 of them just walk in. They sit there with me while they take me up to the 3rd floor. As soon as they come with the wheelchair to take me to the 3rd floor, Marcus was like, hey, I'm gonna go take Kesley to school, I'll be right back. And I was like, okay, go take her, I'll be here. So I remember I got up to the 3rd floor and one of the nurses was like, hey, just wait in the lobby, somebody's gonna come get you and take you to your room. And I was like, okay, that's fine. No one came. Literally like 30 or 40 minutes passed and I was still in the lobby. And I remember that nurse that had told me like that they're gonna give me a room. I remember her, she had all her stuff, like she was already clocking out. And she turns and looks at me and she's like, why aren't you in a room yet? And I was like, I don't know, nobody has came here to get me yet. And she's like, okay, hold on. And I remember she went to go talk to another nurse and they were just kind of like, not like fighting, but just like kind of like arguing back and forth. And I remember she comes back and she tells me, they're gonna get you into a room right now. And I was like, okay, thank you so much. I was still like, like I wasn't even in pain, it was just like cramps. And we kind of wait around, and that's when Morgan comes, and Morgan tells me like, hey, I'm so sorry we haven't got you into a room, there's been like a misunderstanding here, but like I'm getting your room situated and I'll be right back to get you. She was like the best freaking nurse ever. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And that's when Marcus comes in, he sits there with me, and that was around like 7:16ish, around there. And that's when you see him recording me. And literally literally like 12 minutes later, that's when I give birth. Because I remember Morgan comes and gets me. She's like, okay, your room is ready, let's walk in. And as soon as like I was walking into the room, I start feeling like this like heavy pressure, like it was like a contraction. And I was like, this is what I was kind of waiting for from like the time that I was getting induced, because that's when you can kind of compare. Because the Pitocin, every time they put the Pitocin just kind of keeps increasing every time, like with the contractions start to increase every time. So this time when I didn't have the Pitocin, it was just kind of like, okay, is this a contraction or is this a cramp? I wasn't too sure. So that's when we walk into the room and Morgan's like, hey, okay, undress yourself. You're gonna put this robe on, and then these wipes are for you to clean from your neck down. Once you do that, you can come and lay down and we'll get you situated. And I was like, okay. But as soon as she walked out, guys, I got this crazy contraction, and I was standing at the edge of the bed and I was just kind of like rocking back and forth, like trying to process, you know, the pain. And I wish I would have recorded. I'm so mad that I didn't record, but I was not thinking about recording until after. But yeah, I remember I walked into the bathroom like once the contraction went away, and guys, immediately like right after I got into the bathroom, I wasn't even in my gown yet, I took off my pants, and that's when I hear this loud pop. Like it goes like I think even louder than that. I hear that, and like a gush of like blood just came out. So at that point I was so confused, because I was like, wait, was that my actual water that just broke, or was that something else? Because I didn't have bleeding when I was at the house, and I just felt like water rushing down my legs. So but like right after I hear that pop and the blood is just coming out, within seconds, that's when I was like, okay, I need to push. I felt the urge of just pushing. And I remember I opened the door and I get emotional, and I was like telling Marcus, I was like, I need to push. And he's like, okay, wait, let me go get the nurses for you. And I remember he goes and like gets this like nurse, and this nurse comes in and she's just kind of confused, like looks confused. She's like, well, like what's happening? I was like, I need to push already, like I cannot wait. And that's when I see Morgan like coming in, and she's like, oh my god, like just wait, the doctors are not here yet, like let's just get you checked. And again, like I wasn't even in my gown yet. I don't remember how I got my gown on me. And she but I got it on. They get me on the bed, and Morgan checks me. She's like, oh my god, like you're 10 centimeters dilated already, you're ready to push, but don't push yet because the doctors are not here. And so literally within seconds, I just see so many nurses run into the room. All I'm seeing is like they're picking up the things where they hold your legs. They're trying to like start poking me with the IVs, and they're just saying like, we're gonna do everything backwards. They start asking me like so many questions too. And eventually like this one doctor came in, and she's the one that delivered my baby. I don't remember her name, but my original doctor was not there. But as soon as she walked in, they're like, okay, you can push. And I started pushing. The moment they gave me the green light, I was like, yes, I am pushing right now, because it's just, I'm ready. So I started pushing. It took me like, I think like 4 tries or like 4 pushes, and baby was out, guys. Like it was like the smoothest thing ever. I remember they put him on that warm thing, and they're cleaning him, they're measuring him, and for some reason I just couldn't stop bleeding like down there. I remember the doctor, she was just like with her fist down in my stomach, like just pressing down so freaking hard, and then like with her other hand, like she was in there, and she was just like, I can't stop the bleeding. Everybody's looking concerned, and I'm just kind of like, what's happening? She was just like going in my stomach and then like going in there. And I remember I grabbed her from the wrist, and I was crying, guys. I was like, please, like just please stop, it's hurting me so bad. And at the same time, I hear the nurses on where the baby were. They're like, Dad, baby's ready, you want to hold him? And he's like, yes, of course, this and that. In my head, I was like, how has he done before me? Like, it's crazy. But I was over here dealing with this. And then I remember the doctor was like, if I remove my hands from here, you are gonna need a blood transfusion. Like, I cannot remove my hands. And at the time, I didn't understand like how serious it was. Like, I was just kind of like, just stop already, like it hurts, like you're hurting me at this point. And they didn't. She kept her hands in there. The nurses were holding my hands because I was just crying. And I remember Marcus would come around and he would just kind of like, you know, grab my hair and he'd be like, you're gonna be okay, I love you, and you know, just try to be super supportive. But guys, it hurt so bad. Like, I think that hurt more than delivering like my baby, because it was just super painful. Like, I felt like, oh, I don't even know how to explain it to you guys. Like, the pain was just so harsh. Like, her hand, I felt her hand way in there, and then just like her stomach. Oh, I can't. But so yeah, after that, like 30 minutes passed by, literally 30 minutes passed by, and that's when they cleaned me up, and that's when they're like, you want to see baby? And they put him on me. They didn't put baby on me until like until everything was done, because I was like crying, and there were just like so many nurses around me. But yeah, like, even after they were done, they were just asking me, they gave me medication, and they were just asking me so many questions, like how many pregnancies have it been, I had miscarriages, how old am I, and the whole thing. But yeah, guys, after they cleaned me, that's when they gave me baby, and that's when Marcus's mom was allowed to come into the room. But yeah, guys, that was like pretty much it. Right after they sent us to the other floor for care and all that, that other nurse was terrible. She was freaking like just kind of like rude, and I don't know, like, you know how they usually give you like the spray thing for when it itches and burns, and like these, like, they give you these like pads, like cold pads, like for down there. I remember I asked the nurse, and I was like, can I please get that? And she's like, you didn't tear, so you don't need one of those. And I was kind of like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I still gave birth. It still freaking hurt. The doctor had her whole freaking fist inside, like down there, and you're telling me that I don't need that because it hurts? So I literally waited for my night nurse to come and give me one of those, because I was like, this freaking bee here isn't like helping me. But yeah, and then she even cut his umbilical cord. I was so mad, because I was like, why would you do that? Like, why would you cut his freaking umbilical cord? And then one of the, like, that next morning too, I was laying down, like, breastfeeding him, and she doesn't even say good morning or anything. She comes in and she opens the curtain and she's like, where's the baby? And I was like, he's right here, like, he's eating. And then she's like, why are you feeding him like that? That makes me so nervous. He can, like, pretty much, like, die and stuff like that. And I was like, this is my third kid. I think I know how to feed my baby, what to do. Like, I'm not dumb. And but she was just like rude from the get-go. This was not Morgan, this was another freaking nurse. I even asked her for a school letter for Kesley, and she's like, you should have asked your doctor for it. I can't give you one. Like, she was so freaking annoying. But now that I know my body can do it, I want to do it again one more time. I know I don't need to be induced. I didn't like the pressure of feeling like I needed to get induced, because I remember my doctor was like, on the 1st, if your baby hasn't been here yet, you're going to come in that morning. On the 1st of December, you're going to come in that morning and you're going to get induced. And now that I know that my body can do it on its own, like, I don't ever want to feel pressured to getting induced. So, I just love that he just came naturally whenever he was ready. Not when the freaking doctors are like, okay, on this day you're gonna get induced, and I don't like my patients to go over this many weeks and this and that. Like, no, my baby got here whenever he was ready. So, but yeah, guys, that was pretty much my story. It was kind of long but short at the same time. If you guys enjoyed it, please let me know what you guys think, or let me know your guys' birth stories. I love hearing people's birth stories, because we all just go through different things and different experiences. So I just wanted to share mine with you guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys on the next. Bye.